Hey, run. So this is gonna be an analysis of Ontricus' new 1501 record. And then as an added bonus, I'll also analyze my 1570 PB after this. And then I'll probably talk about what resetting for sub 15 will look like. Yeah, so this is, I would say, probably the first actually optimized 1.9 1.15 record in over a year. Probably since Pingdu 1713. Yeah, the record's been in a place for a really long time where it feels really easy to beat, and everyone's been screwed over by dragons and eye breaks and stuff. Um, yeah, so we also expected Ontricus to get this. This isn't even his fastest end enter. Fastest one is around I think 8 seconds faster. Um, so yeah, we've just been waiting for a perch, in a sense. Yeah, so this is really deserved. He's at what 275,000 resets is absurd. Yeah. So this is an island coastal, which is kind of interesting because island coastals are nice because you can take a hostage very easily, and there's probably a good chance you'll see a monument off spawn, which there's a monument off spawn there. Um, but the annoying thing about island coastals is that if there's a monument off spawn, it's really annoying to find the shipwreck. Um, and also it seems that a lot of the time the once you start actually going into the ocean, it'll just end quickly. It's also annoying. But yeah, his number one priority right now, since he saw the monument but hasn't seen a shipwreck yet, is to find a shipwreck. Um, so this is where he uses shipwreck regions. I think he looks at it when he's mining this stuff. Um, that was accurate. So the way shipwreck regions work is that they spawn in a checkerboard pattern, basically, um, and they're actually really predictable. So the shipwrecks are usually centered in the region, and it's very easy to use them. So yeah, right now he's at negative 16, comma 15 chunk coordinates. It's usually easier to use chunk coordinates rather than actual coordinates because they're smaller. And the shipwreck regions, they're centered around multiples of 16 plus 4. So that means 4, 20, 36, and going the other way, negative 12, negative 28. So these are really useful. Um, yeah. So negative z, which means the closest region or closest line of shipwreck regions is going to be negative 12, which is behind him. Let's see, is positive x, and the closest line of chunks in the. Oh, I'm reading that wrong. Oops. So negative z. Um, yeah. So the closest one. Oh wait, confusing myself. Yeah, the closest one is still behind him. 4 chunks behind him on the z, and then 4 chunks ahead of him on positive x, which is going to be negative 12, 20, and that's kind of awkward to get to, since the monument is the other way. Um, so what he ends up deciding to do is to kill the golem, because going to this one, which is the closest one, um, he's gonna have to backtrack a bit. If you want to go to that one, it's gonna be a bit far, and you're gonna have to go a little bit to the right and then to the left. Um, and the two behind him, like over here and down here, are probably gonna be too far away. So that one, the one in this direction, turns out to be past the monument, which is really annoying, and the other one is also very far to route to. Yeah, the second thing, or technically first thing, um, also to do with chords is what direction are good chords for traveling. So if you're going for record, traveling in the direction of good chords is very important. See where his chords are. So that direction is negative z. Um, this is positive x, so he wants to go in that direction. But the monument is here, so what he's going to end up doing is going to the monument and then pushing this way, pushing negative x. So yeah. this is all stuff that you want to figure out probably while you're running through the village or mining wood. So now he knows that what direction of travel he wants to go in, and also he knows that it's gonna be annoying to get a shipwreck, so he decides to kill the golem. Um, I think I missed something back here. Um, yeah, he checks the farmer there, and he sees that there's a wheat trade, which is gonna make front loading pretty easy. And since his cores are pretty good, after he leaves the monument, he's gonna be probably around 400 blocks out. Um, the village cores are already pretty good, so you want to front load more often than not in this situation. And especially since the villager already has the wheat trade, he knows it's gonna be easy to front load. Um, and you can tell there's probably there's a lot of hay down that path. Yeah, when I ran this blind, I made the mistake of not front loading, which cost me to run. It was also kind of funny because Ontricus and I both ran each other's seeds and we both failed miserably on each of them. It's funny. But yeah, front loading is a very good play here. And additionally, since there's a monument site that makes it or makes it so you should front load more often. Because if the monument is farther away, you have more time to get emeralds. It won't be as much of a problem. You'll probably get 10 emeralds by the time you're at the monument in order to throw an eye. So yeah, over here he makes the decision to get a sixth bed, which is for blaze bedding. If you're going for record, you pretty much want to be going for either 5 or 6 beds. I think it's a good idea to go for 5 always, and then get the sixth bed if the routing is easy. So here the sixth bed is already in the direction of monument. It's a little bit annoying because you have to get out and then get back into your boat. But I think either skipping it or getting the sixth bed are both good choices. Yeah, getting a sixth bed will give you more consistency in the blitz fight. So this monument routing is pretty standard. And right now he wants to see where the next shipwreck is going to be, next shipwreck region, since he hasn't seen one yet. And so he has -24 in the negative x direction and 5 in the positive direction. So closest one is going to be -28, 4, which is more positive x and one chunk negative z. So it's going to be around here. The other option he has is going to go -28 and 20, which is what he decides to do. I think both these choices are all right, but I think this is the one decision he makes in the run that sort of disagree with. It ends up working out for him, but right now he wants to mostly be going negative X, and this shipwreck is very close. But yeah, pushing positive Z slightly is also worth it, I guess. And at this point, he sees the mountains load in, and um, he probably realizes it should have gone to that other shipwreck, but right now it's too late, so he goes to another. And it's kind of good that he went to this because the other one only has 3 iron, or 2 or 3 iron, I think, maybe 2. So he wouldn't have been able to enter the ravine that's over there. So at this point, you want to go negative X. So, and you also want to don't want to run into these mountains. So he's going diagonally to the shipwreck region that's this way, and he sees it here. Right. Oh yeah, goes down here to mine gravel. Very good decision. And he sees the other shipwreck there. Yeah, at this point, you also have two decisions to make, either this one or this one. This one's a lot less linear since you're not pushing cores at all. But this one also, you go over a lot of deep ocean that has a chance for ravines. There's a ravine here. And the other shipwreck, you just run into normal ocean that has no chance for a ravine. Yeah. Yeah, the ship is pretty good. He has 23 M's now, which is enough for 11 eyes. And this pace as well is really good. The overworld is really, really nice. Yeah, so he's entering sub 6, um, which is super, super good. Very good pace. You want to be probably getting sub 6s relatively often. They're still kind of rare, but sub 6 is very good. Sub 7 is what you really want to be aiming for. And sub 8, I guess, if you want to cope out a run, or maybe if your cores are very good. Alright, so let's watch this portal build again. So he doesn't put a block there. He goes straight to putting the magma block over here. He's doing this because, well, it's not as applicable in this run, but usually you want to keep at least one door from your portal, especially if you still have to go to a monument. So he's doing this so it only uses two doors, and after he finishes the portal, he can um, put those two blocks. And he does one more thing here. He doesn't do cobble skip, and he does this trick where you place the water against the cobble there. Will usually get you 3 or 4 cobble. He's doing this because he doesn't have a stand, and this is getting the 3 cobble you need for a stand. Um, so yeah, there's a lot of stuff in that portal, and I think it's very, very important to get the 3 cobble for your stand. Um, yeah, you see that in my run too. Um, because you want to be crafting the stand at the spawner, um, which is a zero time loss because you're waiting for blaze cycles. If you craft it after you leave the nether, it's going to be very annoying to mine cobble from the side of a ravine and then um, place down a crafting table, probably be in an awkward spot. So doing this will save anywhere from like 3 to maybe 10 seconds if you messed it up. Yeah, this is the most mean part of the run. He spawns in a wall and decides to actually go for it here. Does the full pyrite. Over here, it's probably better to look at these chords where you are inside the chunk, or to find the best way to cross the chunk border, which would have been to go -x. But honestly, doing this is fine because the time it takes to figure out which way to mine, you're probably wasting a lot of time anyway, and it works out. Over here, he decides to make a gold pick, which I think is a very good play. Since, right now, he has 2 extra gold and 23 emeralds. Um, Using 1 extra gold to make a gold pick is going to cost him 1 emerald, since you only be able to trade 70 gold. And that's all right because either way, he's still going to have 11 eyes. And having 11 eyes is a lot of time you will be skipping shipwrecks if you have 11 eyes. Um, so something about the sort of nether is that, um, like I said, the record has been very optimized for a while now, and we sort of figured out that it's okay to play out maybe 4.5 minute nethers. And that's also why in the beginning, he turns up his render distance to 20. It's still possible, believe it or not, to world record on a 20 chunk fortress, which is really funny. But yeah, after this one, if you're going for record, this is probably a reset. That's sort of another. Yeah, over here, this fortress looks really nice for 5RD, which is an option, I guess, but 5RD is very high role play. It's very dangerous too, especially if you don't have a shield or if you have low food. So it's fine that he doesn't 5RD here. But if you're going for a sub 15, I think it's probably worth the risk, to be honest. Um, yeah, he does a frontside blaze bed here. I think he goes to that spawner instead of this one because the terrain is better for blaze bed. This is surrounded. Yeah, and his doing the blaze bed and getting decent rates is what makes this nether playable. Still pretty good. And over there, he does a red clutch. Um, Saves time. And I think it's an underused strat to get around the nether. Yeah, this is a surprisingly fast nether for the fact that he had to dig through a wall. like 355 no likely. So he's leaving at 9:43. This is here's the new tech. Yeah, you place the stand on the ocean floor somewhere um beneath the villager. So how this works is that for some reason the villager is able to pathfind from the block that's directly underneath him. Um, and from that block, if it's able to pathfind to the stand, then he'll take the job, which is really funny. Very weird. Yeah, here he overlaps the time it takes to level up after trading gold by boating forwards, which saves some time. He doesn't do it after the lapis trade, since he's overlapping that with crafting blaze powder. I'm not sure why he doesn't do it after trading redstone, but that's a small time loss. So yeah, 1014 I throw. Very good. The cores are not too great. It's only around, I think, 530 blocks out. But low 10 is at these chords. I think it gets adjusted to around a high 10, like a 1040 or something, after 1044 minutes, which is still very, very good. So this is shipwreck he saw earlier, goes it, and he gets 4 emeralds. That's not actually enough for all his pearls, because if you remember, he crafted a gold pick, so he technically needs 1 more emerald. Um, but at this point, having 11 emeralds going to the stronghold is very good. So you'll probably be able to complete anyway, and in this position, I would say you should only really be looting shipwrecks that are very linear. Um, oh yeah, and when he throws his eye, yeah, when he throws his eye, he uses the alternate standard deviation feature of Ninja Brain Bot, which after this record, I think everyone should be doing this, since it's gonna be very, very hard to get a dig down record at this point. Okay, so don't get out of your boat and then do something like 30 FOV low sensitivity. Just a waste of time, especially if your eye drops in the water. And with this sort of with the standard deviation, if you throw another eye, you'll usually get a very good estimate of what the distance to the stronghold is. If you throw an eye with high or low standard deviation, high accuracy, you'll almost always get the chunk that starter is in. Yeah, here maybe you could say he should have gotten the shipwreck. I think he actually forgot that he doesn't have enough M's, but again, 11 eyes is I'd be willing to skip a lot of shipwrecks, or I'd be willing to skip a lot of shipwrecks if I have 11 eyes. When does he? Yeah, he docks at 12:28. Something I forgot to mention is that he slept at I think 10:37, which means day 2 started at 12:22, so 7 seconds ago. And this is also standless run, so something you have to worry about is that at 12:12 at 1:40 after sleep, there's a bug where if your villager is able to pathfind, so there's block below it, at that exact moment, then your villager will bug out and it'll think that the job block is still all the way back there, back where you did it in day 1. So he docks 7 seconds after that moment of time, so doesn't have to worry about the bug. Yeah. And the stronghold here is very well hidden. I think he only sees it yeah, when he's passing over the button, because there's very little light. He overlaps the 15 seconds between restarts by looking for the porter room. He doesn't actually find it. The porter room is let's see if I can point out. It's over there. You can from the shape you can't see it, but from the shape you'll be able to tell that it's the porter room. Um, but that's very hard to see, since these shapes are very low down to the ocean floor. Um, yeah, you at this point you probably have all nerves, and yeah, hard to blame him for not being able to find it. One other option is to do pre-nav. Ocean pre-nav is really annoying for 15 since you're almost always going to get a lot of entities. And that's going to mess up your reading. But I think it's still sometimes good to do, in case you're able to get a reading that says maybe like one half of the stronghold has nothing in it, and that still gives you a little extra information. Um, so that sort of pre-nav you would overlap with two restocks. But he overlapped with it with looking underwater, which is also fine. Um, oh yeah, and also since he docked only 7 seconds um, after day two started, and um, and since the strongholds were below him, there wasn't an opportunity to do a cooldown skip. So the nav is easy. Um, I think what he's doing is there's one path that way and one path this way. That path looks like it's gonna go out to that whole mess of stronghold that you see over there. It goes on here. This still goes towards the left, which is I think why he turns right and sees it. There. There you could say that he should have seen the or should have gone to the portal directly, but I think the what he does here is also perfectly fine and it works out. There. 13, 14, and then king. Second fastest and very good. Very close to the double day limit. Yeah, I think this fight is not interesting. He doesn't have a pearl, so he decides to bow an enderman and kill it. He uses the sprint punching thing to get it in. Um, yeah, the one cycle is a little interesting. I'll talk about that. But yeah, this dragon's kind of I think it's an average perch, like 140 something, and split. Yeah, perches here. Some one thing that we've noticed about the one cycle 115 is that it's different depending on which side you stand on. So the your spawn is that way, and it seems that usually if you stand on this side, or if the dragon's swinging like this way and you're standing on this side, um, then the one cycle will be much easier than the other side. Um, where dragons swing this way. We don't really know why, but it seems that the dragon will break your bed much more often, usually on like the third or fourth bed, if you're standing on this side. So that's something you have to watch out for. And here, it also makes it so it's more likely to flip. Flipping is sort of double-edged sword. That if it flips, then it'll be much less likely to break your bed for whatever reason. It also makes it harder to one cycle. So it flips there, but and as a result, he's not able to pull off 5 bed, which is alright because one cycle on that side is really annoying and hard to consistently 5 bed. Yep. So 1501. We're gonna talk about the run as a whole. Um, yeah, this village was routed really well. Um, Makes a good decision to kill the golem. Um, if you didn't know shipwreck regions, you would have to spend a lot of time looking around, um, and that will lose us a lot of time. Either that, or you kill the golem, and then um, what might happen is that you leave the village or take the hostage and instantly see a shipwreck that's really close that you should have gone to. So yeah, knowing shipwreck regions is really nice. And yeah, this uh, front loading part of this was routed really well. Um, he ends up front loading, I think, yeah, 15 dems. Um, and leaves the village at 249. 249 is really, really solid, especially given that he had to kill the golem. Um, so yeah, in the future, if you're front loading, you really want to be getting sub 3 village leaves. Um, almost always at good chords. If you're at bad chords, it's not too great to front load. Um, yeah, and sub 245, sub 230 is also preferable. If he didn't go for the sixth bed, it would have been, like, if he didn't go for the sixth bed, it would have been 233 village lead, which is really, really solid. And then you go straight to monument, and then the shipwreck routing is a bit interesting here. He goes to this one, then decides to go to the diagonal one that way, and then sees the one closer to the monument, decides to go to that one. Which I probably would have done differently, but it works out for him. Yeah, and this is very good pace. 547, another enter. Forcing this fortress was, yeah, since the world record was not that great, this is a good play. Would have been really funny if this sub 15 with this or other. But yeah, he spends a really long time digging. But saved by first place betting, and then getting good rates. He leaves and um, gets a low 10 eye throw. Cores aren't too great, but he already has 11 of his eyes. Um, so this is a pretty good eye throw. Um, yeah, so, and then he, maybe the stronghold could have been different, but I think this is pretty much about as perfect as you want it. Yeah, this is a really good run. Ontricus has improved a lot since his first two records. Um, his 1610 had probably like a minute and a half of time loss. 1602 is better played, maybe only 20 seconds of time loss. This one's almost perfect. Maybe if you want to be nitpicky, say it's like 10, 15 seconds of time loss. But he's at the above the stronghold, pretty much perfect time. Only 10 seconds off from perfect. Yeah. Yeah, this is a very, very deserved run. Um, it's a shame that it took so long that the dragon didn't purge on his three other 14, sub 14 and enters. It finally did, and we finally have a good record. Um, at this point, um, there's kind of, yeah. So dig down won't be able to record anymore. Bad seed won't be able to record anymore. That and sorry, what was I gonna say? Yeah, and you have, if you wanna, or the next record is probably gonna have to be a good seed that's played well. Um, it's gonna be pretty difficult. Yeah. Um, so yeah, cool run. I guess I'll talk about my PB right now. Um, yeah, this is such a meme run. This happened almost exactly 2 hours after Ontricus's. I think his happened like 8:10 p.m. My time. This run happened 10:10 p.m. my time. So wasn't expecting this at all. I was kind of the past few days been on a drought of not being able to get sub 12 eye throws. Um, this is a sub 11 eye throw. This is exactly the same eye throw time as Ontricus. This is 10:14. And the chords are really similar too. My chords are slightly better, but very, very similar. Pretty good coastal. Let's see. Yeah, shipwreck here. I'll have to mine down. Decide to mine three logs and make a wood pick, which I think is pretty standard in 116. I don't really do this often in 115. But yeah, chords, tundras are usually spawning close to 0, 0, so that's positive Z, positive X. So you want to be going this way. Or, also, um, if you're mining down from this shipwreck, you want to go 8 blocks that way and 2 blocks to the left. Um, yeah, that's what I do. Maybe it would be a good idea to make a shovel there. I'm not really sure. I think it works out. Also, you could argue that maybe I should have made a wood axe and then or stone axe and then a bucket in case I have to enter the nether early. But I think these crafts are also fine. Yeah, this village is really easy to route. All the houses are really close to each other. Um, Mine through the snow. It's a good time save for these types of villages. I usually get 6 beds, but the last house had 2 extra beds, so I ended up going for 7. Which is 7 is nice. You don't really need 6 beds to one cycle, um, but it's comfortable. And here, try to get that villager, but walks away. I try to get this villager using. Basically, what I'm trying to do is sprint punch the boat towards it and then immediately click it, which actually is surprisingly consistent for getting a single villager into a boat. Um, but I end up clicking the farm instead, and I do the same thing on the other guy, and it works. And yeah, this is such a funny part of the run. Um, Wonder if you guys see that is the monument. It's so well hidden. I've never seen anything like it. I saw it back when I was mining it at that shipwreck. I didn't think it was the monument. It's so well hidden. Oh yeah, when Ontricus played this, he didn't see the monument at all, which is so funny. Um, Something here is that there's there's a shipwreck over there. Let me see if I can go back. Um, yeah, you can see this shipwreck over here that I also probably could have gone to. But I didn't actually see that. So if you did see it, you could make the decision of whether to go to this shipwreck or the one I went to. I think this one's still probably better, since you're going more into the ocean. But I think both shipwrecks are pretty comparable. Yeah, pass over this ravine here. This is the ravine I end up going to. Um, Only 2 emeralds at this point, which is not very good. We have enough iron to enter another, so I decided to go to that ravine. I had to backtrack a little, but I think it's fine because it's still slightly going towards the market. And you don't know if you're gonna get another ravine later on. Um, so yeah, this enter nether here is pretty good. It's not fantastic because one, I don't have enough emeralds. Two, the cores aren't really going to be that good anyway to say with the monument. So it's just alright. And I guess we're gonna watch this portal too. This is very similar because it's also sandless run. So I don't do cobble skip, so I can get those to cobble. Here, one of the problems with this is sometimes the cobble will fly into the lava. It's almost always consistent, but sometimes it will. And um, honestly, I should probably learn a different setup. Wilby has some reliable setups, I think. So it looks like I went to the lava, so I checked my inventory, but I still have 2 cobble. So yeah, it's very important to get 3 cobble before you go to the nether. End up getting it. Here I mined that magma block to get the door. A bit too late, but that's also something you can do. I already have 1 door, which is all that you need to loot the monument. Yeah. I see that, or at 2.7k on my seed, both the chest and the spawner gate unloading. So I decided to look around to see maybe if the spawner is close, but there's another fort there that's kind of far away, so I decided it's probably not that fort. So I go here. I decide to, or I get the soul sand here, and put a block there so it pops up more easily. And fortress routing here is pretty simple. I'll get to the spawner pretty quickly. Yeah, this is also a really funny part of this run is that I went 6 for 18, which is really bad. It's sort of like how Ontricus spawned in the wall. And it also goes to show how little or how unoptimized this category is. If I can go 6 for 18, so get a really good time. Yeah. I blaze right here. No reason not to. Um, maybe didn't clear out that block quickly enough, but it's fine. Yeah, and then here I craft the bring sand. And the rest of it, yeah, release my shield a bit too quickly. The rest of the base bit's pretty normal. Um, I put blocks here and start mining out the walls, which I think everyone should be doing, since you can still get more places to spawn. I don't think you lose enough. Yeah. Also clear out some of the fires up there, which will help a little, not too much. More importantly, clear out the fires around this area. Yeah. Doing this will also give me more blocks. In double day runs, you'll very often be short on blocks. If you have to say bridge to the end island. Yeah. Yeah, rates are abysmal. Um, yeah, fast forward a bit. And here, I make probably the most controversial decision, which is leaving on 5. If I were to do this again, I probably wouldn't leave on 5, even though my blaze split was really slow. Um, I decided to do this because, well, if I want to play for a sub 15, since this is 2 hours after, um, I need to be getting a sub 11 eye through. Or since my cores are bad, and I only have 2 Ms, I'm thinking that I'm probably not getting more than 18 Ms. Um, and also looting shipwrecks to get more than 18 Ms is also going to cost more time. Um, so I think leaving a 5 is alright. Maybe not the best decision, but ends up working out. It's a 3i. Yeah, I think other than leaving a 5, this nether's very standard. It's also pretty much exactly the same nether as Ontricus's. This is like a 356 or something. Nether split. Oh, this is tragic. Yeah, I'm not able to use the whole bottle column. Also here I totally get disoriented and I turn on my hitboxes to find the boat, but since when I went down to the ravine I had to swim a little bit to find the L shape. So this I could have immediately started swimming towards the direction of my boat, which would have saved time. It's very small time loss. Yeah, and using one door to mine a monument or lure a monument is it's totally fine. If I over here I sort of place it in a weird way in order to get the door back. But other than that, pretty normal. Yeah. And so also here I'm checking my cores in order to look for the next shipwreck region. So I'm at 1814, so the closest one is going to be at 2820. So 2 chunks positive X and 600 chunks positive Z. Yeah, this is also why it's really important because really important to check to know region coordinates. If you're going for record, you should probably learn them. If you're not going for record, maybe just sub 18 or sub 20, it's not that important. All you need to know is that if you're at a shipwreck, then if you go in plus Z plus X or diagonally both positive X and positive Z, you'll come across the next shipwreck region and the other 5 directions. Um, but yeah, I know that I want to go 2 chunks this way and 6 chunks that way. So sort of go around the monument, hug the monument closely. And this section of chunks is where I know I can be domed. So I sort of go around that chunk so I don't have to worry about that. So it's gonna be around here somewhere, I know. Yeah, it turns out to be right here. So using regions there worked really well. Especially since for looting a monument, your RD is going to be low, so you won't be able to see anything. You don't want to get disoriented. Yeah, I use this tech again, where I put the stand underneath. Since you have to wait like 3 or 4 seconds before you break the stand, order to give enough time for the villager to get the job. I overlap that with looting shipwreck. I don't get any items from that shipwreck, so I'm not able to start trading yet. But it's still good that I put a sand there, so I don't have to worry about docking later. And here it's probably a minor mistake. I only realized that I tagged the map from that shipwreck all the way to the left right now. It's a little it's right past this island. I think it ends up working out fine. Um, Going from the mine to the buried treasure directly is very similar to going for that shipwreck over there. Yeah, so yeah, looting the buried treasure is a little bit messy. Yeah, I spent like 6 or 7 seconds trying to find it. It's annoying. And then this shipwreck, this buried treasure is really good. The thing about treasures versus um, shipwrecks is that they both give around the same M's. Shipwrecks average 3.6 and buried treasures average 4, which is really similar. But the thing about buried treasures is that there's a much better chance for a high roll. So you'll almost never see 20 or more M's in a shipwreck. There's actually a decent chance for buried treasures to have that many. The flip side is that you'll get 0 M's on a buried treasure a lot more often than in a shipwreck. Yeah, here, my task overlapping for doing the trade is a little bit messy. I go for a little bit there, which is not too necessary because I have to overlap my having the gold box anyway. Yeah, and then here I got 10-minute lag. So when I should have been overlapping after gold by going forwards, I accidentally clicked the villager 2 more times, so I'm not able to do that. And I overlap after lapis overlap the laser crafting. So it's a little bit messy, but it's still fine. Yeah, so 10-14 chords are. Oh, I found a full screen. Yeah, 10-14 chords are like 580 or something. Very similar to Ontricus's aggro. So 10:25 right now, so I should be sleeping. And I like to write down when when day 2 will start. So that's a pretty much perfect time. 12:13. So this is probably why I shouldn't have left on 5, because I get so many M's from that buried treasure, and there's more shipwrecks in the line of travel. But I guess it works out. So right now I have 11 eyes worth. Only 10 place powder. That also means I don't have to worry about checking more shipwrecks. Um, yeah, switch my pie chart to the pre-nav setup right here. Yeah, I'll fast forward through the rest of here. It's pretty much a straight line until I start trading. Yeah, at this point I don't think this run's going anywhere. It's probably not going to be exposed, and if I want to get sub 15, pretty much has to be exposed. Yeah, here in this one I also don't worry about the bug for stainless at 12:12. But here I'm boating over open water at 12:13, which is exactly when 140 after sleep happens. So I don't have to worry about the bug. Here I'm trying to see if that piece of coral is 1 deep, because I want to use it to dock. Yeah, so what I'm doing here is that the first time you dock, it usually takes a little bit of time, like 4 or 5 seconds before the villager does the first restock of the day for some reason. Here it actually does it instantly. Not really sure why. Probably need to do more testing, but I'm basically trying to overlap the time it takes to restock with doing a more accurate measurement. I put the reset in my offhand so I can do the second restock quickly. So this is the cooldown skip, where I dock 1 spot before the stronghold, and then sometime after that, 15 seconds after, I dock again. Over here, this coral is actually 1 deep, So I could have done my second restock here. Um, but it's kind of hard to tell with the coral whether you're able to dock. And it's totally fine docking at that island anyway. Which since it's 275 away, I think it's probably on this island. Um, I know it's probably gonna be sort of on the other side of the island. And here there's a little bit of light there, and that actually turns out to be a port room. So I spent a little time checking, but I don't think it's actually the port room or actually the stronghold. Which I guess is a mistake, but I don't know. It's very hard to judge that, and I don't think anyone would really want to swim down to check when they're thinking the stronghold's probably on the other side of the island. Yeah, there's the library. And here I'm also waiting for the second restock. I think this might be a little mistake. I don't know exact mechanics, but um, the villager takes like 6 seconds to restock, and usually when you do a second restock, it'll happen instantly. It might be because my boat was a little not aligned too well. Works out fine. So yeah, here I decided to try to do a pre-nav. Yeah, Ocean, like I talked about for Ontricus run, Ocean pre-nav isn't too good since you're gonna get a lot of mobs, a lot of entities. But from that, I get the information that there's nothing in this whole area. And something I thought about after the run is that it would have been a good idea to boat around to this island, boat around to the other side of the island to check for an exposed portal room. Since I don't realize in the run, but that side of the island has deep ocean. It also turns out that the information I get from prenav that there's nothing on that side of the island also means that there's don't have a portal room. But that doing prenup didn't actually give me too much information because as soon as I got into Stronghold, I was disoriented. Didn't really help me. And nav is pretty easy. I checked prenup again just to make sure that there's something down this hall. And it's right here. 3i. Not punished. 4, it was like 1345 Stronghold enter. Yeah, finally get the perch. Finally get the perch when it doesn't matter anymore. Yep. There it is. And this is the same thing as Ontricus' one cycle, where I'm on the wrong side, the side opposite the where you spawn. So after my third bed, the dragon looks really low, and it's probably gonna break my bed. So I decided to blow up the bed a little bit early, so it doesn't do too much damage. But since I have 6 beds, I don't have to worry about it anyway. It's a 5+1. First 5 beds pretty much does exactly damage as Ontricus, which is kind of funny. Yeah, 15-17. What a run. Oh my god. Yeah, it's kind of funny that we've been rolled so much on Perch and a lot of other stuff, and all of a sudden, within a span of 2 hours, um, we both break Isgar's run by a really wide margin. It's the Perch, which is kind of funny. This is the end enter. At this point, after Ontricus is 1501, the end enter 1422 isn't good. Not world recordable. But yeah, I guess look at this run as a whole. So coastal's right there. I go get this ship. And the cores are pretty much at 0-0. Village is pretty quick. Pretty easy village. Oh, this is a good demonstration of why spiritual punching is so good. I need to see more people using that. To both to travel across land and to take the villager hostage. Yeah, so 152. No front load. Cores are all right. At this point, probably like 120 blocks out. This is a pretty average no front load village leave. And since I have tools, that makes it better. But yeah, if you're going for sub 15, this is you pretty much always want sub 2. If your cores are good, like very good, like 400 out, maybe you can push sub 215. If your cores are bad, so you're going back towards 0-0, then you probably want something closer to 130, sub 130. Okay, backtrack a little bit for the green. Um, oh yeah, and best part of this run is that I don't see the monument. The monument is so well hidden. Like, dude. Enter's pretty good, 323. Um, really bad rates, but it plays bad. And controversial decision of deciding to leave on 5, which I probably a bad idea. If I was farther out, like if I was already at 1,000 blocks out, and I still had 2 Ms, then it would have been a much better idea to leave on 5. Since at that point I'm hoping for a close stronghold. I'm probably not going to be looting too many shipwrecks. Yeah, the rest of this blaze fight is pretty standard. Standard blaze bedded blaze fight. And then I use the ship regions to find the ship there. This is probably if I didn't use region numbers, this finding ship would be a lot less linear. I might miss it entirely. Because from that other shipwreck, it was just using the fact that shipwrecks spawn in a checkerboard pattern. You only know vaguely that the shipwreck is going to be somewhere around the monument. Yeah, so yeah, this bird treasure, um, really nice. Um, yeah, and then I missed the stronghold in a really small ravine here. Missed that border room. Um, which I guess is a bit of a mistake, but I think it's reasonable. Yeah. What else about this run? Yeah, 1422. It's surprisingly, I think it's the 10th fastest in enter. Um, I've had like I think this is my don't even remember probably my ninth sub 15 and enter. Um, Ontricus has like 7 or 8, but he also has 4 sub 14s and I have no sub 14s, which is better. Um, yeah, so I have 9. Ontricus had 7 or 8, I think. Doug has 5, and everyone else has 2 or less. So yeah, finally got the perch on a sub 15 and enter, but it's 2 hours too late. Yeah. Um. Right. So what will resetting for sub 15 look like now? It's gonna be much harder for sure. Before this, you could basically have to go for a sub 12 Ithros. Low 12 is fine if you're in the ring with all your M's. But now that's gonna go down by a minute, so you only want sub 11 Ithros, and um, you could probably play low 11, sub 1130 if you're in the ring with all your M's. Um, but yeah, sub 11 is gonna be a lot more difficult. Yeah, Ontrix and I both get 11 XXs pretty consistently. But sub 11s are gonna be a lot rarer. Um, so I guess in terms of splits, if you're entering Nether after your monument, you probably want to be getting sub 7. Sub 7 if you're standless. If you're on a standless run, and sub 730 if you don't understand. Um, yeah, I guess if your cores are good, you have most of your ends, you could probably push that a little further. But you really want to be going for a sub 7. In terms of coastal villages, if you're front loading, pretty much always sub 3. Maybe if your cores are good, sub low 3 is fine, sub 315. Um, and for no front load, you want sub 2. Yeah, cores are probably gonna be a lot more important. It's gonna be a lot harder to get record off village with bad cores. Bad cores being like 200 away from 0-0 and going back to 0-0. Um, I think if you want to, maybe good to go for Insomniac Hostage, bonus restock Insomniac Hostage maybe occasionally. I think it's still not too great since you really want to be getting a sub 10 ISO with that in order to have a chance of beating double day limit. Um, that's gonna be hard. So That's a bold prediction. Might be proven wrong. Is that if Pingu or Doug doesn't come back to 1.15, this record is probably gonna stand for a while. Um, yeah, it's kind of crazy how far ahead Ontricus has been in 1.15. Um, One of the best ways I think that this can be measured is number of sub 10 ithers he gets. At this point, he's probably on what, like 20, 30 or 40 something sub 10 ithros, which is kind of ridiculous. As a comparison, Doug, Pink, and I all have around 10 or 20. And I'm pretty sure there's no one else with more than one or two. Um, and at this point, if you're going for sub 15, you pretty much want sub 10 ithros. 10xx, this still sort of common, but kind of rare right now, and you don't really. Sometimes either 10xx is sort of going to be similar to 11xx, where it's not too great. I mean, it's nice to get, but you're probably not getting record off of it um, unless you get a crazy stronghold. So yeah, sub 10 ithros. Um, yes, not sure what else to talk about. Um, yeah, that's just it. Hopefully, hopefully we'll make progress towards sub 15. Next few months. I probably won't be going for it. The resetting is gonna be way too difficult. Um, I guess good luck to everyone else. See ya.